Welcome once again, boxing fans around the world, to another episode of The Scoop featuring the champ, Bola Ray, here on Talkin Fight. And we've got a special episode lined up for you because we have some guests tonight. Well, champ, I'm going to put it in your hands. Who do we have? Hello? Hello? Did that not go through?
Okay. I'm going to do a little tribute today before we bring those guys on.
Pregnant pause.
We can start whenever.
Can you? I did.
I can't hear you.
For fuck's sakes.
Oh. Well, hello there. Welcome to The Scoop, I guess. I would like to start today by talking about a little fighter that passed away on Monday. Rashid Swasat, well, at least Rashid Al Swasat, a Jordanian amateur boxer, 19 years old, was competing in the World Junior Championships in Poland and succumbed to injuries in the third round. He was knocked out and never recuperated from there. He, in accordance to the reports, this was in Poland. The Polish police are actually investigating the scenario to see exactly if there's anything called foul play. Outside of that, everybody's devastated. Nobody wins. This is horrible to say the least. 19 years old, just doing what he loved. I am a proponent of how safe the sport of boxing is, and it's getting safer, but there's still some cracks and there's still some things that need to change. I don't know all the details as to what has happened. All I was told, all I've researched and found out was that in the first two rounds, he was clearly losing. And it continued into the third round. And then he was knocked out. And even though medical support was right there at ringside, he was then taken to a hospital. Brain surgery was performed. And 10 days later, which was this Monday that just passed, he succumbed to his injuries. So with that, I would like to do the customary 10 count for a fallen soldier. So if you could all just bow your head and give a moment of silence, please. May you rest in peace. Today, I have the pleasure of having two dear friends of mine who are also a part of boxing royalty in Canada on my show. to well-decorated, well-experienced, well-traveled fighters, both from the amateurs right onto the professional scene. There's no better way to give an intro to these two cats than just bring them on board. So, with that being said, Donovan Boucher, Chris Johnson.
No, I didn't.
How you guys doing?
He might be there at the front.
How you doing, Donovan?
Hello? Yeah.
Can you hear?
I'm here. We're doing tremendous. Could you hear me, Ray?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, we're doing.
Eric,
we're doing.
what's going on? Okay.
Yeah, hello.
We're coming right back with you. We'll be right back. He's just restarting.
Okay. I can hear people now. There you are. What's happening, Donovan? Can you hear me? Donovan,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Ray. Yes, I could hear you now.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
No, not bad at all.
Awesome. I
I'm just.
brought you on.
I'm just.
You just what?
Go ahead. Say that again.
I brought you on because I wanted to talk to you about, and I want to hear your side of a whole lot of things when it comes to the world of boxing. The professional game from you, Mr. Johnson, I'm looking to hear about his contributions to boxing from the amateur standpoint. Let's start with you, Donovan. You are like an incredibly decorated amateur and professional fighter whose career took an 11-year hiatus. Why?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, and I'll try to remember all the stuff that happened back in my days. The profession. Coming up through the ranks of the amateur. I didn't get the opportunity, or I did get the opportunity to go to the Olympics, but it didn't materialize in Canada. So I tried for the Jamaican team, and what happened there was a little complication with me. I took another fighter with Jamaica, and we start arguing about who's going to fight in which division. I end up fighting in a division that I never fought in, 130, 135 pounder class.
Wow.
And I'm a welterweight. I've been fighting welterweight through my career, and I went down there in that 135 pounder, and I end up not qualifying, not winning the final in Jamaica Olympics because that's not my weight class. But anyway, I end up turning pro um, in '84. I went to the um, I turned pro in '84, and uh, it was the Commonwealth title. Later on down the road, Canadian title right after that. After I finished the amateur scene back in '84, '85, I won the Canadian title. Maybe '86, could have been '86, give and take. But anyway, yeah, my career was going great. Um, I the commissioner here in Canada was wa-
The
was
commissioner in
someone that
Ontario.
I think it was basically there more. I think it was there more for the money than caring about the sport per se. And I don't really want to bring his name up, but and we all know that the commissioner in Ontario was Ken Ayashi.
Yep.
And go ahead.
Oh no, I'm agreeing. It's Ken Ayashi, and I don't have a problem with saying his name.
Yeah, that's Ayashi. He's the commissioner. So I know we have a history. We have a history with Ken Ayashi.
Yes,
You
we
know what
do.
I'm saying, Ray? But
Yeah.
anyway, through my career, I missed 10 years of my professional years because of that. I'm not gonna lie, because of my after everyone stated that it's inconclusive. We don't know. And it's, I mean, to know for 10. So I end up fighting in the state. I end up fighting fights elsewhere in Canada. Well, not in Canada, in the states. So that was killing to me because I always wanted to fight in my good in my good
You during those 10 years that Ken Ayashi didn't give you
years.
your license, you were
So
able to fight in the States?
but I couldn't fight.
Wow. During those 10
I
years,
can't hear
during those 10 years that you couldn't fight in Canada, in Ontario, you were able to fight in the States?
you. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I was fighting in the States. Your mic or something.
No, I'm not saying
I can't
anything
hear
right
you,
now.
Ray.
I'm not saying anything right now. Go ahead.
Question.
I didn't give you a question. Oh, man. Let me text you. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Oh, wow. I don't know what kind of technical difficulty we're having there. Hopefully these guys will be right back. This is one crazy week. Right now we're working with attempting to figure out exactly what's going on here. Mr. Boucher, he was not just a Canadian champion, but also the Commonwealth champion. Actually defended the title 5 times. he was unfortunately robbed of like 10 years of his career due to one Kanayashi going off and just refused to give him his license, only to then give him his license after I think he had a fight he lost, a world title shot. I think it was a world title shot. Obviously, he would have done so much better. And in explaining this, he lost the fight. Ken refused to give him his license back for another 10 to 11 years. He's 46 years old. How many like thousands of dollars would he have made in his career? How many? And he was robbed of all that time just because of this madman, this utter madman. He came back. He fought a good fight. I think he won the Canadian title back again, or he fought for the Canadian title, and at least he's not. What's happened? Hey, come on, come back on the show. Go back through the link. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm still talking. I'm trying to do my best to explain your career in the interim. So please come back and save me. Okay. So with that, he is. How do I know him? Donovan and I go way back. Relatively to the beginning of my amateur career. I started competing or training. I started my amateur career in Kitchener-Waterloo, and I came down to Toronto, to actually Brampton, to train out of a gym. And in doing so, in my travels and whatnot, all of a sudden now I became more of a household name here. And in doing so, met all the local greats and whatnot, even though I'm actually a Toronto boy from the get-go. Donovan, I met, actually, I think I met Donovan I met him on the film set. But after that, he regular face in the boxing scene and whatnot. He was at the time going through his 10-year hiatus, so he didn't have that many fights, or any from what I knew. But he great guy. He was actually, to a certain degree, he was a mentor when I was training out of Atlas. He helped push me and educate me. Oh, there he is. There you are.
Yes, yes, sir.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So please explain. 10 years, not allowed to compete in the province of Ontario. Take it from there.
Okay, like I was saying before, yeah, the 10 years, it was out of commission. Like I said, the doctor said that it's inconclusive. They don't know what the dot is that's on my brain, and the commission in Ontario wouldn't allow me access to fight. He's saying that I need to, we need to have you clear before we let you fight back in Ontario. So I said, it's inconclusive. We don't know what it is, and we'll never know what it is. I could have been born with it, so on and so forth. To no avail. We argued that until I was exhausted, and I end up had to fight elsewhere. I fought in the States, overseas, um, wherever I can, but not Ontario. So I was kind of devastated, to hear those things that I can't fight at home. When I've been training here almost all my life, and all my trainers are here.
I bet.
So it was yeah, it was sad, and it was something that I wish things could have been better. Maybe I would have had a different following here, but unfortunately, that's how it is. And I had to take that from Ayashi for years, 10 years, and end of the day, he said, "Okay, listen, you could fight in Ontario." When I was 46, he gave me my license back. I said, "Why would you want to give me my license back now? I'm 46 years old."
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
So he gave me my license back. I ended up fighting Garrett Sutherland for the Canadian title at the Royal York Hotel, and I know I beat him. I hit him in his belly, and the referee said it was a low blow. I ended up losing a split decision. I said, "What? Hey." So maybe it was a kind of retribution for not for fighting, for coming back to fight. They probably didn't want me to fight. It was too old, but I did it anyway, and I just wanted to show them. I told them, listen, when I turn 60 years old, I'm gonna fight again. Ayashi.
You want to fight Ayashi?
Yeah, I mean, what? And that's the only reason why I got into refereeing is because of that situation there. When I knew clearly, I got it on video that I watched over and over, that I hit him clean above the belt line, and the referee called it a low blow, taking
Ooh.
points off me, and ended up losing the fight. So I said, listen, I gotta get back into boxing. I want to be a referee. So I ended up being a referee after that. A shitty referee. Yeah, yeah, that's Chris in the background. Says he's the best referee that ever stepped in the ring.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so I it's funny. I end up refereeing a world title fight. I end up actually three world title fight I refereed in Ukraine, Sandy here, and another one in Mexico. But it's all good. I'm just happy to be here, happy to talk to you guys and let you guys know what it's all about. Boxing is not straight, cut and dry and clean. You know
No,
what I
it's
mean?
not.
It's not the cleanest sport in the world, and there's dirty people around it too that want to see you succeed,
Yeah.
and you just got to keep on fighting, and
Thanks,
hopefully
man.
everything will work itself out,
I,
which I know it will.
I have a couple of questions from fans. I have a couple of questions for you. Um, One was asking, was it only the Canadian Boxing Commission that wouldn't allow you to compete? It was actually the Ontario Boxing Commission. Not, I don't. There isn't a Canadian Boxing
No,
Commission. Um,
yeah. Excuse me, it's the Ontario Athletic Boxing Commission.
yeah,
So yeah.
that was Mr. Ken Ayashi, and what we, I was just explaining to him before how you and I met, and the first time I remember meeting you, we were on set. We were on set, not in boxing. It was actually on set, and with Egerton Marcus is the one who actually made the introduction. But then shortly thereafter, I saw you all the time at Atlas, and we were both actors. Actually, I think we may have been doing stunts, but yeah. And Donovan and I never sparred. Donovan's half my weight.
No, 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 no. We never spar. Ray is a big, strong heavyweight. That is probably over 240. I'm only the most I get is like 150, 155 back in the days. And no, we never sparred. But something, I sparred with Lennox Lewis though.
Yeah.
I just was in the ring just to move around with Lennox. I didn't want somebody like that hitting me.
Ever.
A heavyweight.
Ever. You don't want Lennox hitting you ever.
No, 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 no. I wouldn't work with Ray because he might take my head off.
Now, you continue to give back to the sport of boxing via being a referee. How do you? Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you on behalf of Boxing Nation for your contributions to the sport. What can be done in the way of like what areas in the professional game do you think could be corrected or could be bettered?
That could be corrected in the professional game. That's a good question. There's let me see. I thought about that to be corrected in the professional game. Chris, don't worry. You got your turn. You got your turn in a minute. Um, no, in the pro game, um, actually, it seems like things are okay. Listen, I don't want to see professional in fighting YouTubers. What I mean, coming now. I don't want to see that. That's taken away from
100%.
guys that's being trained. That's taken away from good fighters that's being trained. Here you go. We got good fighters fighting YouTubers when they could be fighting guys that dedicated themselves to the sport of boxing for all these years. And next thing you know, a YouTuber come along, and because he's got tons of views, tons of people viewing, they get an opportunity to fight one of our good fighters. You know, it, I don't think that's fair to our sport of boxing, to the pros. What I mean, because these guys, they dedicated all their life. They came up through the amateur ranks. Now they're professional, and here you go. You got a couple of guys that's YouTubers that comes on the scene, making big money for going into the ring with one of our own. Come on, man.
It was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. When I see these guys go off, Conor McGregor made more in one night than Marvin Hagler did in his whole career.
Yeah.
That's insane.
How do you figure that? Yeah. How do you how do you figure that? Marvin Hagler dedicated his whole life to training. Get up in the morning and running and sparring, doing all those things that it takes to be a fighter. Next thing you know, you got these Conor McGregor. Well, how many fights he had? What, 13 or 14 fights?
One. He had one
No. I
boxing
mean,
fight.
I mean overall with him and MMA and all that, 14
Forget the
fights
MMA.
altogether.
He
Yeah,
may have
and
played
he had
tennis too. No, like the whole thing does not sit well with me. I don't want to hate. People are going off and making their money. All the power to them. But
right.
it's not. This isn't boxing. Call it something else.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right, Ray. All the power to them is entertainment. I know life is changing. The whole world is changing with this pandemic, with everything going on. It's funny how things are happening. Guys are fighting real fighters. MMA. It's I don't know. It's good. It's good for these guys. It's good for these guys to get opportunity to do that, but it's not good for real fighters. And that's all I could say about the sport. That's all I could say about that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's it's entertainment, and what I mean, you got Snoop Dogg, and you got all these guys. It's not boxing. It's more fun. It's more fun thing. It's like
It's
it's,
it's
it's
like
like NFL.
WWE.
It's like
It's like
it's like NFL going a different direction, and instead of hitting, you grab the guys to the ground.
yeah.
It's I don't know, life is changing, so I guess you gotta enjoy the change with life. I guess that's all you gotta do.
I hear you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming on. Um, I'm also looking to see if I could talk to Chris. Where's that one they call Chris?
Yeah, I'll try to get Chris on here to talk. You know, Chris Johnson. I know he's around here someplace. Let me see if I could hunt him down.
Please. No, I've never sparred Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis retired just before I turned professional.
Chris Johnson. Yeah, I think Raymond want to say a couple of words with you.
Oh dear
But
God.
but But Ray, I wanna thank you for having me on. Um,
My pleasure.
it's better if I was at home in my office talking to you. Next time I'll talk to you in my office because it's a lot of distraction. Guys are hitting the bag, and you got Chris Johnson making funny faces. He's trying to make me laugh. He's trying to call you names also too.
Oh,
He's making me
oh,
laugh.
of course he is. He's the devil.
And then you got this guy Howard Green. I don't know what he's trying to do, but
Oh,
you have to
Howard's
sit
there.
down. Look, he's trying to boss me around. He's trying to push me around. Yeah,
Hold his head for
talk to
me.
this guy. Well, you have to sit down. Stand up, you lazy.
You're sitting down the whole time.
It's on live.
How you doing, Ray?
Good, man. How you keeping?
I'm fantastic, Ugly Ray.
Please sit down.
Huh?
Well, you're doing me a favor because the light is blinding me. I can't see your ugly mug. But people in boxing land would like to see you for some unknown reason.
All right. Can you see me now, Ray?
Unfortunately, yes, I can.
All right, Ray.
Okay.
I'm
One
gonna be
question.
nice,
I have a
Ray. I'm
question
gonna
for
be
you, sir.
nice to you today.
What's that?
Can you still see me, Ray?
I can still see you.
Huh?
I can still see you.
Okay. I'm gonna go over in a place, Ray. Sit down where I'm on my own.
Okay.
Okay, I'm there, Ray.
Can you turn the lights on?
Now can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Ray.
Now, you too were a well-decorated amateur and professional fighter whose career has been reconstructed from being a fighter to being, well, at least in my personal opinion, one of Canada's top coaches. You were working on cultivating champions of tomorrow with fighters of yours going to the next Olympics even.
When
My
you say reconstructed, you make it sound like somebody reconstructed me. You know what? I grew up I grew up in Kitchener, and I grew up with one of the best trainers ever, and
Yep,
one of the best humans on earth, Arnie Beam.
I
And
agree.
I used to see what Arnie did every day. He'd be in there and he'd give his heart and soul to the gym, and fighters would come and go, and every fighter that left him would break his heart. But no matter how many would leave and break his heart, he would love the next one that came in the gym just as much as he did the one that left before. And I saw that, and I was I fell in love with it right away. How he had the ability to take someone like me from 0 to 100. And I always said to myself, one day I'm going to be a great trainer. And it's something that it's a passion of mine. And when I see talent, when I see talented young kids, I go crazy, you know, because I want to be able to give them the opportunities that I had. So, that's what it's all about for me, is giving back, giving back, giving back.
That's admirable. What challenges do you see in the amateur game, though, especially on the way to the Olympics?
I mean, at the end of the day, what's going on in Montreal, that Montreal is running the game. They've taken all the Ontario boxers or the national champions and put them in Montreal. And I'm a little disappointed in that because Montreal has never won an Olympic medal. They've never won Quebec has never won an Olympic medal. So
Really?
how are they in charge of the whole boxing scenario? I've never seen them, one of Montreal or Quebec guys, step up on the podium. Most of them has been from Ontario. Egerton Marcus, myself, uh, Mark Leduc, Raymond Downey, Dale Walters, um, Willie DeWitt, Sean O'Sullivan. All these guys, none of those guys come from Montreal. And
So
David Defiabong come from Nova Scotia. None of these guys come from Montreal. So how is Montreal taking over the whole boxing scenario, the whole boxing world? In order for now, you're national champion, you've got to go and stay in Montreal. And not only you got to stay in Montreal, you have to pay to be there.
you have to pay.
Yes, and at the end. And at the end of the day, you have to look at it like this: you're taking away from your family, you're taking away from your
Yeah,
friends to be over there.
this is okay. So that definitely is something insane that has to change, because I think in the way of Josh Frazier, if that's not a clear-cut sign of things to come, and that this whole scenario stinks and needs to change, I don't know what's going to take to actually educate the powers that be,
Well,
because
you know what it is? What's happening? All these guys are leaving. All the good boxers
precisely.
are leaving and going to other countries and performing for other countries. And what's going to happen is one person, one or two people that leave and go to another country is going to go on the podium. Is going to go on the podium for that country, and none will be in Canada. There will be no medals in Canada. I don't even know if they'll have an Olympic. They'll have an Olympian. They never qualified. They qualified one Olympian, 2016, one Olympian male, and I trained him. And I trained him for 9 months. Arthur Berzlanov went to him. I went with him to the Olympic trials, and he was the only one to win and go to the Olympics. And you want to know the funny thing is, I never got to go to the Olympics with him.
See, that makes no sense. Who would go? Who would know him better? Who deserves more to go with him than his coach?
Well, that's the politics, and that's why in the 80s and 90s we had a full team. It's funny. We had 9, 10 guys make it in '92. We had the Olympic trials in Dominican Republic, and we had 9 out of 11 guys make it to the Olympics. Now we have one guy.
Yeah.
We had one guy the last Olympics, and there's other things that are wrong with the system. I don't think that right now, right today, as we speak, there's no good coaches. There's no coaches. There is no coaches. We had Adrian to the rescue, God rest his soul. We had Arnie Beam, God rest his
It's a
soul.
soul.
We had so many guys,
Hank
those
Boone.
great guys. Abe Pervin, there's just so many, and they've all died off. All the greats have died off,
Yeah.
and we never put any money into the system to build the new generation. So there is no new generation. So I think the next time you're going to see something, it'd be in the next 10 to 15 years, a good coach will come up.
Uh, unfortunately, I think you're correct. It's actually sad. I had the absolute honor of being trained by Hank Boone, Arnie
I thought you
Beam.
were going to say me, Ray.
Um,
Woo!
no, I had the opportunity to punch you in the throat. No.
That's
um,
not nice, Ray.
Adrian to the rescue.
Yes.
These guys were legends, and I think you're absolutely right. There's a huge disparity between their caliber and what's out there. Mind you, I think that you actually have the ability to be right up there with them too in creating
But Ray,
champions.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something to you, and it might sound derogatory, but Ray, I'm black.
Yeah.
I'm black, Ray. And one of the things about being black is you're not gonna get a chance to express yourself. I listen, Ray. I know how to make Olympians. I know how to make Olympians. I know how to make world champions because I've done it, and I am an
That's
Olympian.
right.
I'm a matter of fact. I'm one of the I'm the most decorated amateur in Canadian boxing history. So I know I can make Olympians. I've done it, and I'm doing it. I took a young man to Jamaica, who's never won a national title in Canada, and he wins the Jamaican nationals, and is going to the Olympic trials, but they canceled the Olympic trials. And I'm telling you, this kid is so hungry, so talented. I know there's no way in the world he wouldn't be on the podium.
Well,
So we're still waiting to see if they will pick us. But when they pick this young man, I'm telling you, he will be on that podium.
if they canceled the Olympic trials, how are they selecting the fighters to go on to the Olympics?
They're doing it. They're doing it in some ratings back from last year or so, where the guys were rated, or they. I don't fully know, but we should know by I think by the 6th or the 7th of next month.
Wow, that's not a whole lot of time.
Huh?
That's not a whole lot of time.
Well, it's not a whole lot of time before the Olympics to prepare anyway. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
What are your thoughts on Aiba?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't speak of Aiba because I don't know much about it. I can only speak on what I know about, and
Fair enough.
I haven't been in Aiba or been in that circle. I took a couple boxers to a couple international tournament. I took Zolt to an international tournament, which he won, and I took Arthur to an international tournament, which he came. He was second in the tournament in Europe, actually in Hungary, and that's all I've really been around the international scene.
Okay, fair enough. Um, I want to thank you for coming out, and I'd love to do it again because you have a big mouth and you have a lot to say. I think it would be fantastic. I genuinely hope I can bring you back on the show another time.
Raymond, it would be a pleasure to be back on your show. I've been asked quite a bit to do Zoom things, and I've always said no. I don't know why I say no, but I've always said no. And because I respect you as a man, and and as a fighter and everything, I said I would do it for you, and I appreciate
Appreciate
that
that.
you asked me on the show.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
I got to say one thing though: you're still ugly.
You see, okay. Okay, okay. See, I was trying to keep it on a certain level, but okay, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I tried to, Ray. I
I
tried
know
to.
you did. I know you did.
But but then at the last minute I said, "Who am I? I'm Chris Johnson."
You're an ass. You're an absolute ass.
They say, Ray, you got to be yourself all the time. I was gonna try to be somebody else.
Well,
All right, my friend. Well, if you need me on your show, you call me again. I'll be there. All right.
will do. Will do. Thank you again. Thank you again.
My pleasure, my friend.
All right. Have a good night. And
All right.
folks, that's my show. That's the scoop. If you liked this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget the notification bell. More importantly, it's your boy Bola, and that's the scoop.